Welcome to today's video. Today we are doing a recreation of the Scott Barnes and Tati reverse contour, the Scott Barnes method. I tried it out. I think it's really cool. It was a lot of fun to do. If you guys want to see how I got this look, just keep watching. Okay, so he didn't even like prime her skin or anything, so I went ahead and did that because I always do. I used the Smashbox Photo Finish Smooth and Blur. So the first thing he's doing is, it looks like he went in with a very light concealer and he's going on the side of the nose. So he started in here, it's going down a bit, and then he's just starting to sweep in like this. So his whole thing is like, I guess, playing with the light and kind of creating the shape of the face before he goes in with foundation. And then same thing on the other side. So he goes down the side of the nose, kind of brightens this up to eliminate those lines, and then goes out, and then he's just starting to drag down a bit. Okay, so he put a little on the chin. He's going above the brows. So he went full in. So we gonna have concealer unibrow. And then he's just kind of dragging everything up like this.
Oh, and he went. Right? So I bring the light right all the way up to the edge. And sometimes
okay, so he says he takes the lines on the sides of the nose all the way to the very edge. Okay, so he starts going in with a brush. I'm gonna just go ahead and use a sponge, only because I don't have a brush like his. So he's just spreading everything out. So he says that this is more like stage makeup. Obviously, he's JLO's makeup artist. But I thought this would be interesting for, you know, if you're going to a big event or something, just to kind of see. Because he's almost like restructuring the face. Okay, so he says he blends this side up, kind of like up the bridge of the nose like this. Okay, so I added some more here and here because it looks like he had a lot more than I did. So I'm just touching in a bit more because he had a lot more coverage on her. So I just want to follow along with what they're doing. And then they just kind of soften everything. And it could be too that since they're using a brush, maybe that's not soaking up as much. And so it looks like what he's trying to do on the forehead is basically where we have this negative space, he's like drawing that up. That's the way he's like creating the shape when he's blending. So I'm gonna try and do the same thing, and I guess it's just so we look very snatched. And his thing is almost like a reverse contour. I look like a psycho. Okay, so next thing he did is he said Jaws of Life. He took a shade. It's a little bit orangey. It's pretty warm. I have Deep Olive from e.l.f. and I'm gonna go beneath the jawline and up this line here. He has a very hard line right there. So let me try it with this brush. Okay, so he says he's gonna minimize her neck by just bringing in what he already has to a V. I literally look like a bobblehead. So he went in a bit on the clavicles. Let me squeeze these babies out. He just left it kind of messy for now. So he does a pretty good line here. Okay, so he is getting everything so soft so easily. Okay, and then he's going in on the forehead. And my product is drying a little bit when I'm going back, so I'm just spraying my brush with a little bit of the Urban Decay All Nighter just to re-moisten everything. And since it's like, this face is obviously so heavy, I'm just trying to put that in there so everything will be nice and locked in. Okay, so I messed up. He still has that negative space here, and I kind of undid that a little bit on this side, so I'm just gonna lighten it up a little more. And I've never done this, so it's actually like kind of difficult, but it's interesting. Like, I'm excited to see how this is gonna work. Okay, so the next thing he did was go in on the nose, and he said this can be done really easily, so I'm gonna try and be careful. down each side, and then he kind of brought it to a point on the end, and then he's going out and overlining the lips with the contour. So he's gonna like kind of plump them up, I guess. Okay, so that's kind of what he has, kind of mustache. Okay, so then he goes down around the bottom just to create that shadow. Okay, so then he goes in with foundation on the chest. So I'm gonna do that, but I'm actually just using the Almay Best Blend Forever Makeup in the shade 180 Natural Tan. Okay, so I'm picking this up, and then he's just going in circular motions and kind of going everywhere. And just right on top of the contour too, I guess. The front of me is gonna be so smooth, and even in the back is gonna be like... Okay, so then he goes in with that same brush, and he just kind of flushes everything over what he has. It looks like he goes in the same brush we used on the chest. Okay, so I'm just using my same brush, and I'm going in with the Revlon Candid Natural Finish Anti-Pollution Foundation in the shade 350. So I'm using this only because I think the finish is gonna be better, and it's a lighter enough shade so that our contour will still show through. And he just starts swirling on top of what's already there. Okay, so then, and he says he's doing the same thing as using a lighter foundation. So then he's taking a little bit more, and he's just swirling up here. And I never apply my foundation like this, so it feels so weird. First off, I hardly ever use a brush. Second, it feels so heavy. So he's just going in and swirling everywhere, it looks like. It's just, I never swirl my makeup, even when I use a brush. So it feels really weird. And he's almost just like flicking through everything. Okay, so it looks like he's setting everything. So I'm going in with my Laura Mercier translucent powder. And I don't have the same brush he does, so I'm just using the brush I would always use. Okay, so he's going in with highlighter. He's using an indie brand, so I'm using an indie brand. I have the Jackie and Lauren Cosmetics Rose Gold Highlighter Palette. So it looks like this. And it looks like it's taking... It looks pretty icy, but a little bit pink. So I'm gonna take these two right here and just kind of mix them together a little. He's just highlighting. Okay, so he kind of skipped over the nose, and I'm really not sure how he did this. So I'm just gonna take my foundation brush to hopefully kind of help blend everything together. I'm honestly just tapping up and down. And then he's adding some highlight to the brow bone. Are we looking snatural yet? Okay, so he's going on the chest, and he's doing like some highlighter slash bronzer everywhere. So I'm just gonna take a golden highlighter because I don't really want to apply bronzer. So I'm gonna take this. He's just kind of going everywhere. So he's just kind of like going, I'm gonna start here when I have the most product, and then just go everywhere on top of that. Get the shoulders, glowy shoulders are cute. Okay, she's radiating. Okay, so now he's going with bronzer on top of that contour he already did underneath the foundation. I'm taking my Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer in the shade Sunset Striptease. So I'm gonna take my Kala 483 buffing brush, and I'm just doing the same as him. It looks like he's going in pretty softly, so I'm gonna try and just, he's almost just like flicking up like this. Okay, and then I'm just taking this brush and kind of going over. Okay, and then he goes in on the forehead. I'm just gonna use this softer brush because I feel like the other one is a bit too harsh, and we're already so snatched. Okay, so now he's going in on the lips, and it looks like it's with kind of a browny nude color. So I'm gonna do that, and it looks like he said he wanted to kind of like round out the peak on the top, so I'm gonna try my best to do that. Okay, so he's taking kind of a light glossy shade, so I'm taking this one. More For You Liquid Lip in the shade Virgin. Okay, so now he's going in on the brows, and he uses a brow powder. I don't have any brow powders. I'm gonna use what I always use. I just got a new one, the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil in the shade Taupe. But he does say he wants them very natch, so we're gonna make them natch and snatch. So I'm gonna brush these up. And then just going in again with some brow gel to kind of pick up all the excess product we have. And this is gonna kind of feather them out like he has hers as well. Okay, so now he says he's going in with just one shade. It looks like kind of a cool tone dark brown, so I'm using my Anastasia Norvina palette and I am taking the shade Volatile. I'm just gonna take my JH40 brush and dip into that, and he's just he's going all over, really deepening up the inner corner and also the outer corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm losing a little bit of the pigment on this eye, so I'm gonna take my ColourPop Double Entendre palette, go in with this shade down here, Teddy Bear, and I'm just gonna add some of that in to hopefully help us out. So I'm gonna go back in with that same JH32 brush and now just take Sand Noodles, which is like this kind of beige shade, and use that to soften everything. Okay, so then he goes in underneath the lash line, and they kind of skipped over it, but I think they're just using the same shade. Okay, so then he goes in with the color on the lid, and it's almost like a little bit pinky bronzy. I'm gonna take the shade Draft from this ColourPop palette and just put that on the lids. Okay, so ours is a little darker than theirs, our lid color, so I'm just gonna take this shade Dreamer and put some of that on top. Okay, so now he's going in with mascara. I'm gonna use my Essence Get Big Lashes. I've been loving this, so I'm gonna apply this. And I'm just doing a light coat of this because I know he's gonna put lashes on her too. Okay, so I'm back with lashes. So next he is just doing mascara on the bottom lash line. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so the last thing I'm gonna do is just re-highlight the brow bone, only because when I was blending out, I kind of lost some of that with the eyeshadow. So I'm going back in with that mixture of shades, and I'm just going to re-highlight. So that is going to complete today's video. I had a lot of fun kind of doing this because I've never done something like this before with kind of like the reverse contour and everything. If you guys like this video, please consider subscribing. Leave a comment down below of anything else you'd like to see. I will see you guys next time.